Merry Christmas and happy holidays here from the Sports Outlet Show. We're back on Wednesday night for one final time here in 2025. Brent, Braden, it's the Christmas special. How are we doing today?
Doing well. Starting to finally, pack on the pounds. It started over Thanksgiving, but I'm starting to fatten up, boys, and I need to do better. I got a wedding in the summer. I got to do better.
Man, it's not going to help you with those Christmas cookies, those gingerbread houses, all those little things. Got to start adding up.
All the candy. Oh.
Man. Braden, how are we doing down there?
Doing great. Getting in the holiday spirit, ready for Christmas and ready for some playoffs.
Braden, we are approximately 1 week away from you watching the Polar Express. Tell the viewers out there what you're excited about.
Yeah. Tradition every Christmas Eve, watching the Polar Express. It's great. And then just celebrating with the fam. Gotta love it.
Braden, I don't think you're just drinking eggnog. I'm going to have to sniff the glass this year. I think he's got a little something in there, a little something. That's all we got to do. That's all we got to do. But as we said, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays here from the Sports Outlet Show. We're absolutely pumped to be bringing you this Christmas special a week early, we know. But this is our last one of 2025. We'll have something huge coming in 2026. But I appreciate y'all jumping here with us one more time in 25. And boy, do we have an agenda for you today. What a time it is in the sports world. It's bowl season. Braden probably doesn't want to hear those three words. 0-3 down there on his pick 'em. Whew. Rough start. It's okay. Braden, you'll come back. You'll come back. You got this. But obviously you have the Capital One Bowl Mania. It's amazing. It's perfect. Everything you could ever want it to be. But it's a Christmas season. We'll bring some jolly cheer here. But 4 teams this weekend will be going home with some coal in their pockets and not a chance at a national championship trophy. We've got your breakdown here for the college football playoff round 1 preview, as we won't be here for Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. But we'll send you right into the holidays with your stocking stuffed, full of gimmies by Brent and Braden for their best bets. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. All your favorites here on the Sports Outlet Show. But let's get started as one that hits a little close to home. The Alabama Crimson Tide will be facing the Oklahoma Sooners for the 3rd time in essentially a full calendar year. Oklahoma, obviously joining the SEC in 2024, will get a familiar foe in the Crimson Tide, but this is one that they'll probably enjoy to see once again. Back in 2024, Oklahoma, when they played in Norman, dominated this Alabama team 24-3 and was the lone final win to keep Alabama out of the college football playoff. You turn the corner to November 15th, 2025. Alabama loses and Oklahoma squeaks by a 23-21 victory. If there is any game that Kalen DeBoer wants to win, if there's any game that Alabama has marked on the calendar, it is to beat this Sooners team. Oklahoma has been big brother to a Crimson Tide program that has been a dominant force in the SEC, and they're tired of hearing the story. The sports books agree with them. Alabama sitting at just a 1.5 favorite coming into Norman for our lone playoff game on Friday night. This over-under set at 40.5, and it's because it's going to be a battle of a bad offense versus a great defense. And I'm saying that on both sides of the ball. Both of these offenses have struggled in late. Let's start with Alabama. Ty Simpson, you guys may have seen it. He's dealing with a lower back injury that seems to really be affecting his ability to throw the ball downfield. If you look at his last 3 games, he's averaging just 160 yards per game, a single touchdown and a single pick, putting up J.J. McCarthy numbers there, as well as just averaging 9.8 yards per completion. You look at his previous 10 before that, gentlemen. Simpson, who was a Heisman frontrunner for a long time there before Mendoza took off, averaged 278 yards, so do the math there quickly, 120 yards more, 2.2 touchdowns, and 0.2 interceptions, as well as averaging 12.3 yards per completion. Those are 2 very different resumes, and the question is which Ty Simpson is going to show up. The way this Alabama team wins is they need their wide receiver 1 and 2, Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard, to show up. They need to make big-time plays for Alabama, and they need to close out a W. The defensive side of the ball for Alabama, they need to make John Metier throw. They need to keep him in the pocket, and they need to close down on the corners and win turnover battles. On the Oklahoma side, John Mateer, for the first time since he got hand surgery, is not wearing that black athletic tape in practice, meaning he's got a bigger grip on the ball and he's going to be able to sling it just a little more like he did at Washington State. Oklahoma, you win this game one way and one way only. Continue to have the best defense in not just the SEC, but in the nation that sacked a Jackson Arnold 10 times earlier this season and put Simpson on his back several times in Tuscaloosa. You need to expose Simpson and make sure he's being touched on every single drop back, make him uncomfortable in the pocket, and you cannot let Ryan Williams turn back into 17 years old of last season. Now, John Mateer, he's going to have to do the opposite, right, of what Alabama wants. Mateer needs to be able to use his legs and then open up the deep ball for Isaiah Sintega and Deion Burks, and they need to make major plays, and they need to win every third down. This is going to be one of the most fun games of the weekend, if not the best, and you're getting it instantly on Friday night in Sooner Magic Land. It'll kick off late at night. Classes are canceled. Campus is buzzing. Finals got moved around for this football game. It'd be an embarrassment to lose. Oklahoma struggles in the college football playoff, but Alabama struggles playing Oklahoma. I have this one, Sooners 19, Crimson Tide 17, and I think Ty Simpson has a bigger issue than they're letting on.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I think this is going to be the best game of the first round, at least. I think it's going to be the closest. The point spread indicates that. And I also do think it's going to be pretty low scoring as well. I don't know if it's going to be a lot of offense, but I love both defenses. As you mentioned, Ty Simpson has struggled. John Mateer hasn't looked the same since that injury. I think it's going to be a low scoring, grinded out game, and I agree with you. I think Oklahoma could win this one.
Yeah, it'd be a big one for him, especially getting to go play an Indiana team that still people are raising questions about that Hoosiers team, despite being 13-0. But that's for another day. But Brent, I'll turn it over to you. You probably have, crazy that this is at noon, but you probably have the best game of the Saturday.
Yep. I think this is the second best game of the college football slate. It's Miami at Texas A&M. As Joe mentioned, noon kickoff on Saturday. On one side, you've got A&M, a team that started 11-0 and had an SEC championship appearance sitting right there for the taking until Texas showed up and reminded everyone there are still levels to this. Win this game, and that loss is forgotten. Lose, and the narrative flips fast. You didn't play Georgia. You didn't play Ole Miss. You didn't play Alabama or Oklahoma, and failed 2 of your 3 biggest tests. And on the other side, Miami, a team loaded with NFL talent across the starting 22. The Canes didn't always look the part. We know that this season with losses to Louisville and SMU, but make no mistake, this is one of the 12 best teams in college football. They beat Notre Dame, just like A&M did. Without that Notre Dame loss, they would not be sitting, or without that Notre Dame win, they would not be sitting here. And if Miami wins here, the committee looks validated. If they lose, all those twisted explanations, double standards, those get real uncomfortable. Why Miami can win this thing, and maybe more. They could even go around past this as well, I think. The talent is ridiculous. Ruben Bain might be the best player in the 2026 NFL draft. Francis Mauigoa anchors the line. Malachi Toney had one of the best seasons I've probably ever seen as a freshman. That wide receiver is ridiculous. He carved Virginia Tech up like it was nothing. This team has pros everywhere. And here's the key. Miami can protect the quarterback as well. If Carson Beck stays clean, that receiving core will eat. Turnovers usually aren't an issue for the Canes. They lost just 1 fumble all season. And A&M's defense, while aggressive, just does not take the ball away. Both teams can rush the passer, but A&M's defense showed late in the year it can be worn down. And Texas ran the ball all over them when they hadn't been able to all season. That matters. I love Texas A&M early. You guys know how much I loved Texas A&M But
They're
after
your
that,
favorite football team.
yeah, pretty much. Outside of the Hokies, pretty much. But watching that South Carolina comeback, and obviously they came back and won in that one, but the start of that game was rough. And that loss to Texas, I don't think the defense can hang for 4 quarters. I just don't think they can. Give me Miami with the upset, 31-27.
Yeah, and you talk about a team coming in with their chip on their shoulder, right? The Hurricanes are exactly that, knowing if they come in and lose this game, especially in a blowout, what it's going to do to Twitter. Twitter might blow up. We say that several times, but that would be an occasion of it for sure. So definitely an intriguing game. So disappointed this is a noon kick. This should be the prime time slate, but we can get to that at another time as well when we talk about the remaining 2 games too. But I'm excited for this one as well. I think Carson Beck has a lot to live up to still in his career. But do not let this Aggies offense get heated, or you're screwed. It's that simple.
I forgot to mention Le'Veon Moss. He's been out the past 6 weeks, I believe. They're starting running back there. He is questionable, so he could make an appearance in this one. I just saw that update this evening. So if he's back as well, that would also add another wrench in things for this offense.
Braden, come on, give me the upset. What do we got?
I wish I could. We'll see what happens. Tulane, 11-2, going up against Ole Miss, 11-1. Tulane gets in as the American champion after beating North Texas 2 weeks ago, and Ole Miss is an at-large bid. On Saturday, December 20th at 3:30 p.m., they will be playing, and the Rebels are currently 17.5-point favorites. Bama and Oklahoma isn't the only rematch in this first round. This team actually played in September. These 2 teams played each other. Ole Miss won 45-10 at home. So not great vibes for Tulane there, but maybe they're going to get revenge. In that game, Trinidad Chambliss went off he threw 27 passes, completed 17 for 307 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also ran for 112 yards in that game as well. Since then, things have changed, though. Tulane has won 8 of their last 9, averaging 30 points per game. And their head coach, John Summerall, will be an SEC head coach next year. He's finishing the year at Tulane before taking over the Florida job. So he doesn't have SEC experience yet, but he will, and he got hired there for a reason. He's a good coach. We'll see what he can do here against this Ole Miss team. Ole Miss is also losing their head coach, but he will not coach this game. Lane Kiffin is out in LSU. They won't let him coach this game. So former defensive coordinator Pete Golding is looking to start off his tenure as a head coach with a bang, a playoff win in Oxford. It'd be great for the program, great for him, great for his momentum going into next year. Will the buzz around the changing coaches cause a distraction and make this game closer than it should be? I don't think so. I still have Ole Miss winning 31-14.
I will say, if you're Tulane, this is exactly the team you wanted to draw up.
Yep.
You are facing you're facing the same team, but you're facing a completely different system, which helps.
Mm-hmm.
The talent difference is way different. And like Brent said a couple weeks ago, when we were talking about this happening with this Ole Miss team, of if you wanted it, or you could walk into the most dominant physical team that's ticked off and wants to go get Lane Kiffin a ring. Obviously, that would be hilarious. So, but this one will be interesting, but I think it's a good time to get a nap. Good nap.
Yeah. There's 2 different ways this game could go for Ole Miss. I think Joe explained it nicely there. But like you said, they could come in guns a-blazing, ticked off, or they could just be totally unmotivated, not wanting to be there, bummed about their head coach leaving. But I tend to agree with Braden. I think this one's going to be a blowout.
Yeah. Hey, let's hope not. Group of 5s. Let's go. Speaking of group of 5s, hey, by the way, Tulane, John Summerall, big donor for the Green Wave now. $100K contribution on the way out the door.
Nice. I saw that.
Wow. Pretty classy over there from the head coach of the Florida Gators, the Tulane Green Wave, and who knows if we'll have a third on his Twitter bio here soon, but it's hilarious.
Yeah. You might have seen that update earlier this week, that $20 million donation to Virginia Tech. I wanted that to stay anonymous, but I had to help the program the best way I could. So, I had to fork out some money there.
So humble, so humble.
I'm never buying Brent's McDonald's again now that I know about this. Unbelievable. Speaking of Group of 5, though, we've got one more to cap off your Saturday 3-game slate between the James Madison Dukes and the Oregon Ducks. JMU made it before UVA. They made it before us too, but I'm not going to comment about that. We weren't in that position to be there. Oh, Duke. Thank you, Duke. But we're talking about the Dukes, a team that is in the college football playoff. The 12 seed will be heading to Eugene, Oregon to play in a very difficult Oregon environment. Now, here's how it should have shook out, in my opinion. This game should have been your 3:30 kickoff because nobody wants to go watch a 9 a.m. game at Oregon. Well, maybe they do. Maybe they do. But I don't think they want that local time. The Tulane-Ole Miss game should have been first, and then your Miami and Texas A&M should have been in the late window. But we're at the late window. Let's talk about the Ducks, right? Puddles is my wife's favorite mascot. So, of course, I'm picking Oregon to win. But, I got to give you the analysis first. When you speak about the Ducks, right, they want to win the line of scrimmage. They need to control the explosiveness of two guys, Wayne Knight and Alonzo Barnett. If you control the explosiveness of both of those guys, you're going to win this battle and you're going to win it big. At the end of the day, you're the Mighty Ducks. Just stick to your game plan, read keys, avoid penalties, play good football, and leverage your talent and depth advantage over this Dukes team. Finally, you got to know when to use your quick strikes, right? You're playing a Group of 5 defense. They haven't seen this level of speed many times this season. The one time they did, they played a Louisville team that did beat them. I would assume that film is being used rather rapidly. But control the space, control your explosiveness, and be ready to have a quick strike ability. And boy, does Dante Moore have that. That kid is going to be one of the top picks of the draft if he decides to enroll. But that kid is dynamite. He's the reason the Ducks are here. He's played fantastic. On the other side of the ball, JMU, you got to do one thing and one thing only. You got to stop Dante Moore. It's that simple. If he is not explosive and you can keep him to not using his legs on third downs because he can run, you're going to be able to put yourself in this ball game. You got to disrupt the run game. That includes Dante Moore being quoted as a running back, like Jackson Dart was quoted on Hard Knocks earlier this week. You got to control the clock. You need to rely on your rushing offense as well. We just talked about Alonzo Barnett and Wayne Knight. You have to control the clock. You need to have long possessions. Keep Oregon's offense off of the field, right? And you need to make sure that you're morally in this game. You have to hang around early. You got to be 10 points or less down at halftime. And you got to keep your guys in check if you're Bob Chesney. No stupid penalties. Play your game and find those avenues to win. Now, I think Oregon is going to win this one by at least 2 touchdowns, but the Dukes are a sneaky team, and they always have been. So never count JMU out. You know that as a Virginia Tech fan. You know that as a fan of college football. But I just think this game is overwhelming. And to be honest, this is one of JMU's worst teams in the past couple of years when we're talking about college football playoff appearances. I have JMU losing this one by 2 touchdowns. I would say Oregon 28, JMU 14. But what do I know? Chris Naylor has a projection that he texted me this morning of James Madison 34, Oregon 13.
Wow.
So what do I know?
The reverse spread. That's what that is.
I love it.
Minus 21. JMU minus 21.
So the JMU 21 and a half is going to – it wouldn't be a reverse yet. It needs to be 35-13. Chris, here, let me fix it for you.
Close enough.
Hey!
There you go.
My
There you go.
You know what they say. Good teams win. Great teams cover. Elite teams. They flip
Reverse
it.
spread.
Reverse spread. It's that simple. It's that simple. But all jokes aside, if you want to make sure, here, I'll just say it bluntly. You spent all your money, right? You're out at Christmas shopping. You're spending money on XYZ person, loved ones, family, friends, your dog, your neighbor, a guy named Braden Wilkins, any of those people. Braden, I'll put your address in chat. People can start shipping you things.
Great idea.
Yeah, put it out there.
And I'll put the exact location of your bedroom too, so like they can throw it in the window. But
Perfect.
it's Christmas time, right? You spent all your money. Maybe you had a bad session of blackjack at the table, right? Brent's got you covered. If you need someone to save Christmas, it's Brent and Braden. They're basically Santa and his elves. You pick who's who. But Brent, tell me about college football on Saturday, how people can make a little more money for little Timmy this Christmas.
Yeah, we're dishing out dollars this Christmas. And I'm going to start it off with, again, already gave my analysis on it, but Miami money line at Texas A&M. Texas A&M is favored in this one, so this is plus money. I talked about it enough. I gave my reasoning for this game. I think Miami wins easily. My second one, Joe talked about Oklahoma money line versus Alabama. Again, I think Joe did a really solid analysis on this one. Love that defense. We could talk about them all day long. On the other side of the ball, Ty Simpson has had his struggles recently. Freshman quarterback going into the playoffs. That's usually not a good recipe. And just a little extra spice on this one. If Oklahoma wins, they would be the first team ever to beat Alabama twice in a season. So there's a lot on the line in this one against Alabama. Ever.
That's nuts.
Yeah. My next one. It might scare a few people. It would not scare Chris. This would be an insult to Chris. JMU plus 21.5 at Oregon. This is the largest spread in college football playoff history. And in my opinion, the Dukes are the best group of 5 team in the nation. There are 4 teams that rank top 10 in both scoring offense and scoring defense in the FBS, and JMU is one of them. JMU also 4-0 against the spread when not favored by double digits this season. I'm not saying Oregon is in trouble here, but we have to give a little bit more respect to the JMU Dukes. Those are my 3.
Wow.
I will
ahead.
say I can't give you parlay what that would pay out because in Virginia we cannot bet on JMU. So I don't have those live odds in front of me. But if you're not in Virginia, go check it out. Put a little money on it.
Brent, what you're supposed to say is you're going to drive to Charlestown. You're going to put in a paper ticket. You're going to bring it back on the podcast, show it to the people, and say, this is what it parlays at.
I might just have to. Next one.
This is why you have to tell Maddie you have to go gambling because the people need to see the paper slip. And I mean, while you're out there, you might as well throw a couple hands down. 6 hours, 8 hours, easy, no problem.
Absolutely.
Brent, you said next pod, so that means you also are banking on JMU money line here. It sounds like.
Yep, JMU money line in this one, the second round, and I guess the third round too, right?
Sure.
You might as well just go future plus 50,000, whatever it is, for them to win the Natty.
Love it. We should do
Get in that lake house. But you look at Brent sent me these picks to put in 2 days ago. He's 12-15 on the year. He sent me these picks on 12-15. So if that tells you anything about it's going to hit, Brent. It's going to hit.
Absolutely. I lined it up perfectly just like that.
I feel pretty good about it. So, oh, wow, the Christmas season, right? It makes you start thinking about plenty of things, right? You think about your music, what songs you like, carols like Jingle Bells and Deck the Halls. You think about your movies, your animated movies we talked about last week with your Rudolph, your Frosty, the Grinch, the greatest animated movie of them all. Sorry, fellas. It's okay. But, you think about all those things and you're like, you don't think about, the guy that brings all the presents. You don't think about Santa all the time in those movies, right? But Santa deserves his flowers too. He brings all the toys for all the girls and boys. You know the saying, right? Santa's coming to town, and Santa's a little underweight this year, right? He needs to bulk up. What do we do that with?
Christmas cookies?
Get him his cookies.
You do it with cookies.
Oh, I love it.
Welcome to the Blind Top 10. It says Santa's in front of it, but I mean, you can really have most of these cookies any time of the year. But it's Santa's cookies. Welcome to the Blind Top 10. Let me get it pulled up while you all strategize.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways Joe could go with this one. I'm thinking that, we could have some generic brands up there, but we could also have some like recipes like those peanut blossoms or Buckeye cookies. There's a lot of different ways we could go here.
Yeah, so many different options. I'm wondering, are we rating this based on cookies that Santa would enjoy with his milk, or just in general?
In general. Braden, today you get to be Santa Claus.
What I've always wanted.
I'm happy to make a dream come true for you, buddy. I'm happy to do it. All right, who's going first for me today, fellas?
I think it's me.
Yeah, I think it's Braden.
I'm going to make somebody's homework to look up. On our podcast sheet, it's just going to say Braden. I think that would take away from the fun of it, though. But you have – not that, silly me. You have the blind top 10 of Santa's cookies. So let's go ahead, make sure you can see Braden's full face there. I'm already dumb. Who's going first?
Me, baby.
All right, let's do it. At number 1, and I can describe this one. You pick it up at the store, right? It's a fan favorite. It's in that little clear box that you pick it up. It's the frosted sugar cookies with sprinkles.
Ooh, okay.
It's the exact one you're thinking about.
Yep. Those ones are controversial for some people, but I love them. They're some of my favorites. Yeah, not much else to say. I'm thinking here. Where do I want to start? We always start in the middle, sort of. I think I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to put it at number 4.
All right.
Not bad. I don't know why those are controversial. I like them too. I don't think they're an acquired taste, in my opinion. It's just a sugar cookie with icing on it.
Yeah, they're so good.
I don't understand it personally, but that's just me.
They're good. One that was mentioned already, Brent. My mom calls these witches' hats, but you have the peanut butter blossoms.
Oh man, these are so good. You get them fresh out of the oven. That Hershey Kiss is a little melted on top still. One of my favorites for sure. Love when my mom makes these over Christmas. Oh man, should I do it? I think I'm gonna go number 1. I'm gonna go number 1.
Braden, do you concur?
Yeah, they're a classic. I mean, I love them. Specifically around Christmas time too. They're just so good. They fit the holiday season. Can't do Christmas without them. So I think it's a great choice. Very good.
Very good. At number 3, you have peppermint bark cookies.
Okay. Is this like the dark chocolate sort of thing with like the peppermint little flakes in the middle? Okay.
You are correct.
I like them. They're not my favorite. It's hard with these sorts of lists because everything is so good. You just don't know where to put the ones that are just okay. I think I'm gonna go number 9 here.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had peppermint bark. I don't know if I've ever had a peppermint bark cookie. Might have to scoop that out.
They are pretty good. At number 4, back to you, Brent. You have the white chocolate macadamia cookie.
Yeah, I thought this might be on the list. Personally, not one of my favorites. Definitely more of a classic chocolate chip guy. You know what? I don't think there's going to be a lot of bad cookies on this list. I wouldn't say it's a bad cookie, but it's close, in my opinion. I might put it at 10.
Wow.
Getting 1 and 10 out of the way. I understand that. But those are some of my favorites. They're always
really?
Yeah. They're always, but I know that's not a popular opinion. I know they're always the last cookies to get eaten, but I'm fine with that. I just go in there and swoop them up because nobody else wants them.
Boo, Braden. Boo, Braden.
Boo.
Dang it, no.
Boo, Braden. You've been booed. It's okay. Yay, Braden. All right. Back to you, Braden. At number 5, you have the classic Snickerdoodle.
Snickerdoodle. Also a Christmas staple. I feel like they could go at any time, but you typically have them around Christmas. I'm going top 5 for sure. I just don't know if it's top 3. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go with number 3.
All right.
This top 10 is not helping me lose weight.
Well, if you we don't have the feature to time lapse, but if you go, bzz, remember the first thing I said. It doesn't help with all those Christmas cookies.
He knew
Sometimes I give you guys hints. I give you
Good work.
hints.
I got to pay more attention.
Make sure you go back to the beginning of the podcast, see that little tidbit for you. We'll take care of you here on this Christmas season. But here at number 6, some people say I eat too many of these. You have the gingerbread cookie.
Gingerbread cookies. I completely slipped my mind on this list, I'll be honest. Personally, not one of my favorites. I probably would have reserved this for 10 if I knew it was coming. My personal opinion, I know a lot of people love gingerbread out there. Maddie, one of them for sure. I'm going to put it at number 8, though. I think there's a lot better on this list.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Brent. Never been my favorite.
It's still a cookie. I'm still going to eat it because I'm fat, but it's good. It's lower tier. It's lower tier.
This might be the most open you guys have ever had this list with the top tier, 2 and 7 being your top tiers. Excellent job so far.
Changing it up.
Hey man, it took you a whole 2025 to get here, but man, 2026 we're changing it up.
Yep.
At number 7, back to you, Bray. We have the oatmeal raisin cookie.
Oatmeal raisin, also going to be a little bit lower here. A little bit lower. I think we're just going to slide in at 7 and not say much more about it.
See,
not a big fan of the raisins.
I like oatmeal raisin. But again, if we're ranking cookies here, it's probably going to be near the bottom of the list every time. I completely slipped my mind on the gingerbread and oatmeal raisin. That's my bad, Breed.
Nope, all good. As long as they're in the lower half, I think we're okay.
Here at number 8, you have the regular classic sugar cookie.
Classic sugar cookie is really good. Definitely leaving 2 for one that I think is all at the top of our brains. So it has to go 5 or 6. I'm just trying to think of what else you might be able to throw at us. I'm gonna go number 6 because I think it's 2 below frosted sugar cookie. You got to get the icing adds a lot to it.
All right, Braden, decide if this goes at 2 or 5. You have a shortbread cookie.
Okay. I don't know if I've had too many of these in my lifetime, if I'm being honest. I'm surprised. There was 2 that I had in my brain here going into the final 2, and one of them's going to get left off, I see. So I'm going to put this at number 5.
I was not thinking shortbread either. Good wild card there.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't give you all the instant classics. I can't give you, the ones that are what's coming. So what's the point of that?
I'm hoping.
What do you guys think?
Chip. I'm hoping it's chocolate chip. It's not.
Did I make you nervous with my previous statement?
I don't know.
If it's not chocolate chip, what would you guys think it is?
Oreo.
There we go.
It is the chocolate chip cookie.
I think top 3 are phenomenal. I don't think anyone would question that top 3, personally. You might rank them your own different way. I could see chocolate chip being at the top. I could see people having snickerdoodle at the top. But the top 3, nailed it. The rest of the list, I don't know.
I'm in the minority here. I don't like snickerdoodle cookies. I never have.
What?
Really?
Nope.
Wow.
I don't like the seasoning on it or whatever it is on top. I just can't do it.
Warm snickerdoodles are phenomenal.
Okay. I can't say I've ever had it warm, so maybe that's my problem.
Definitely a game changer.
That's helpful. That's helpful information, Brent. I think 2025, you guys might have just ended with your best list yet.
Maybe we have to see what Kelby thinks. That's the voice that matters.
That is true. I will. I'll make sure you get her feedback. But maybe we'll send it with a Christmas card. If you don't get one, you know why. You know why. But, well, it's time. We appreciate all of you that were here for the blind top 10. We did Santa's Cookie Edition. So if you're just joining now, feel free to go back about 10 minutes to watch Brent and Braden go through that list. If you're joining us live here, but. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, have a great Happy New Year because we know you're probably leaving, but we're still going to talk sports for the NFL here for the next 30 or so minutes. So if you're into that, keep hanging out. If not, Merry Christmas. We'll see you in 2026. Good time for this, I guess. Oh, Brent had the clock already ready like he knew the script.
Oh, yeah, man.
So we are at a season high, fellas, for Joe's 2-minute drill of 13 football games. When you average that out on the clock, that's less than 10 seconds a game. I'm cooked.
You got it.
There was no buys this week.
No buys and no post-game pulses. No post-game pulses. Nope. Got to get better about that in 2020. Maybe that's my New Year's resolution, post-game pulses for the World Cup. I'd be saying 500 names I don't know. All right. I'm about ready for it.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Here we go. In news here, Falcons, Buccaneers, Zane Gonzalez nails a game-winning 43-yard field goal for Atlanta in fourth quarter to come back from down 14, sends Tampa Bay into tied for first place in the NFC South with the Panthers. Ravens, Bengals here. Joe Burrow gets blanked for the first time since college. Jackson and Henry stay alive in the playoff race. Keep up in the AFC North. Ravens win this one 24-0. Jaguars, Jets. Trevor Lawrence have a career day, my friend. You embarrassed New York. 6 touchdowns for him, throwing 3 to ETN. Steve Wilkes walking on the street, fired. Chargers, Chiefs, and the dynasty. It's dead. Oh, my goodness. Mahomes, I'm sorry. He tears his ACL. It's raising questions for 26. Cameron Dicker hits 3 field goals. They win this one 16-13. 40-20 for the Texans here. They win their 6th straight. Stroud throws for 3 touchdowns. Nico Collins 2 in the air. Texans control the AFC South with Jacksonville. Chicago, Cleveland here. An embarrassment. Caleb Williams gets 2 touchdowns. Shedeur throws for 3 interceptions. Garrett continues to chase the sack record. Commanders, Giants. Brent's called this one. It's the battle of the draft picks. Giants win. Dart goes to the medical tent for the 800th time, and Jaden Daniels shut down for the season. Here comes April for both programs. Eagles, Raiders, bounce back win for them, 31-0. They blanked them 3 touchdowns for Jalen Hurts. Broncos, Packers, game of the week. Broncos win with a massive game. Parsons, unfortunately, with a torn ACL and will be out. Niners, Titans, they escape this one from Tennessee. Purdy throws for 3 touchdowns. Offense is great in a high-scoring affair. You have Saints, you have Panthers. I'm not talking about it. I'm going to stand here for my seconds. Shuck wins this game. I'm sad. You have Vikings, you have Cowboys. This one Sunday night. McCarthy continues to be hot and cold. 3 total touchdowns is enough to send the Cowboys likely to Cancun for the summer. Steelers, Dolphins, last one here. You'll see Quinn Ewers here coming up shortly. TJ Watt was not a factor here being out for the game. Mike Tomlin's legacy stat is 1 game away. Back to you in the studio, Brent.
This might be your best one. 157. Very solid. Very good stuff. Very thoughtful analysis in there. The one that grabs my attention real quick, Chiefs. I feel like if you're a Chiefs fan, last week was hard for you. Obviously, you've had it good with Andy Reid and Mahomes the past, I don't know, 8 years of making the playoffs. It's been a long time. It's been a long time, but losing him to the ACL injury in that game, possibly not being ready to start the season next year, that is brutal. You have Travis Kelce saying today that he hopes the Chiefs get him back in 2026. If you notice, the Chiefs reference there, not I hope we get him back. So that's might be a tell that he's looking to retire after this season. So I think the dynasty might be coming to an end. We'll see how he battles back next year.
Yeah, I definitely think when you're losing Travis Kelce either to retirement or to another football team saying that much. And he just hasn't been great this year. Trey McBride and Brock Bowers have taken over the tight end universe, that's for sure. But, you wanted to feel so good that Kansas City's missing the playoffs. Everybody's been waiting for it to happen to say, ha, ha, ha. And then a tragic event happens with Mahomes tearing his ACL. And it's like you can't do that
Can't
right
dunk
now.
on him now. Yeah.
No. But hopefully Mahomes gets well as Micah Parsons. Just so many ACL and MCL tears this year that have just been terrible, with so many stars shining bright there until it happened. But we wish Mahomes, it sounds like surgery went well because, let's face it, even when he's at his worst, he's still the face of the NFL.
Facts.
So
I think I saw it was the first playoffs without a Manning, Brady, or Mahomes in like 27 years or something crazy. It was
since
wild.
98, I think.
Yeah. So
hey, none of us were born.
I know we've had Manning, we've had Peyton Manning, Brady, or Mahomes our entire life.
And now we start the streak of year one, Bryce Young.
Yep, Bryce Young, maybe Sam Darnold.
There you go.
Bo Nix. Carson's mentioned him in the comments. Bo Nix.
Are the Broncos good this year?
Hadn't heard.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. Send me over to the NFC. Braden, you had an incredible football game.
Yeah, the Broncos, one of two teams to clinch the playoffs so far, the other being the Rams. They win 41-34, moving up to 11-3 for the Lions. They dropped to 8-6. Matt Stafford evens the career head-to-head against Goff as the Rams clinch their spot in the playoffs. For the Lions, Jared Goff went 25 for 41, 338 yards and 3 touchdowns. Amon-Ra had 13 catches for 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jameson Williams had 7 catches for 134 yards and a touchdown. The running game, though, for this Lions team, which is usually a huge strength between Gibbs and Montgomery, they struggled. Gibbs had 38, and Montgomery had 32 rushing yards, so not great there in that capacity. For the Rams, heavy MVP favorite Matthew Stafford builds his case. 24 for 38, 368 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception for the only turnover of the game. Both passing touchdowns went to Colby Parkinson, and Puka Nacua went for 181 yards. The running backs for the Rams scored 3 touchdowns of their own. Kyron Williams had 2, and Blake Corum had 1, while each of them had over 70 rushing yards. The Rams, I said it before, they have clinched the playoffs and are now hunting the number 1 seed. Their game next week against division rival Seattle in Seattle will be a huge factor in that race. The Lions are currently on the outside looking in from the 8th seed with the Packers just ahead of them. They currently have a 36% chance of making the playoffs and will likely need to win out starting next week at home against the Steelers.
That's wild to me. The NFC is crazy good this year.
Yep.
Yeah, that 4 seed, man. Watch out for him. Watch out for that 4 seed.
Yeah.
Dude, I have 2 things to say. Number 1 is I talked about and previewed this game last week. I said Rams 41, Lions 31. So close.
Yep.
So very close. Secondly, how did the Panthers beat this offense?
Like I was telling you this week, the Panthers lose every game they're supposed to win and win every game they're supposed to lose. You just have to go against the sports book.
If I was looking at it, if we beat, the Saints twice, we lost to the Cardinals, lost to some really bad teams this year, but it's okay. We're going to win. We're going to win the whole thing.
Sure.
Only people standing in our way is our quarterbacks of 2022, Baker and Sam Darnold.
Rams and Packers, you made those teams look silly.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's what matters. If the Rams win the Super Bowl, if you had 150,000, send it back to Carolina. Great segue over into Seattle, though, Braden, here for Brent. Oh, my. We live in a movie.
Yeah, boys. This game wasn't about touchdowns. It was about time, legacy, and a kicker. The Seahawks beat the Colts 18-16, and Jason Myers was literally the entire offense for Seattle. 6 field goals, a franchise record, including a 56-yarder with 29 seconds to win it. Seattle didn't score a single touchdown, and it did not matter. But the story of the night came on the other side of the ball. Philip Rivers. After nearly 5 years away from the NFL, the 44-year-old Hall of Fame semifinalist and literal grandfather stepped back onto an NFL field with the Colts' season on life support, and for a moment, it worked. Rivers led the Colts to a 13-3 lead, throwing his first touchdown pass since January of 2021. An 8-yard strike to Josh Downs. He even drove Indy into position for a 60-yard go-ahead field goal with under a minute left. You'd think that'd be enough? For a second, it felt like vintage Rivers, chaos, confidence, maybe a little bit of trash talk, but the clean kind, not the dirty kind, and just enough magic. But Seattle answered. Sam Darnold moved them into range, and Jason Myers again delivered. Rivers' final pass of the night was intercepted as he tried to force one last miracle, so not quite the storybook ending we were looking for. Seattle grinded out the win, moved to 11-3, and stayed tied atop the NFC West. The Colts dropped their 5th loss in 6 games and slid out of playoff position. And one unforgettable night where Philip Rivers reminded everyone he could still play, even if it's at a limited capacity.
You see the drop back where he just fell down?
Yep. And if you, I saw a clip up of his throws, like not the finished product of his throws, just him winding up and throwing it. And it did look good. I don't know how Seattle didn't dominate this game more, take advantage more of Philip Rivers' weaknesses. His obvious weakness is knowing that he's 44 years old and hasn't played in 5 years. They didn't blitz him at all. I don't know. I think the Niners might do a little bit better against them this week. I don't think he looked too great.
Is he starting again?
He's starting again. Confirmed.
Why? Anthony Richardson is active. Play the kid.
I don't know. Dude, not only is he 44, hasn't played in 5 years, he's coming back against Seattle, the 49ers, and Houston. Those are horrible defenses to play as a 44-year-old who's been sitting on his couch for the past 5 years. It's crazy.
This is a business decision for Rivers for 2 reasons. One, he gets all of the NFL insurance for his 10 children. Read up on that. You know, he gets all those benefits and whatnot.
I saw that.
And number 2 is you have now reset your Hall of Fame by 5 seasons. And let's admit, when you talk about Philip Rivers and the class he was in, you know, Breeze, Brady, both the Mannings, as well as a couple other great quarterbacks that I'm not Rodgers will get there eventually, right? And that stage of football, Stafford as well. Now you're finding the middle ground of you're not, all right, so I'm getting pushed back 5 years. So the Mannings and everybody will be in at that point. You know, I got this little middle tier where there wasn't a great style of quarterbacks, and I'm going to get right in before Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, right? And Lamar Jackson and those quarterbacks. So it's a business decision, fellas. That's why he's back. That's why he's back. I can't believe this is real.
I don't hate that analysis. Like, he might be contending with like Matthew Stafford. That might Aaron Rodgers. That might be the range. But other than those two, I think he might be the only other option there as far as quarterbacks go.
Correct. Yep. And they look at long-term stats, not recency. So we're in a dynasty league, super whatever. No, this isn't true. Buffalo. We had Bills, we had Patriots in Foxborough. It was snowing. It was a classic, great football game. Buffalo comes back from down 21-0 to keep their chances alive for 6th straight AFC East title. And I think it was on CBS Sports, so I'll give them the credit. But if it is Fox, that's probably a sin to say against the 2 media markets. But the graphic of Drake May plugging in the house, Josh Allen pulling it out and putting his in, and then them battling with the Christmas lights is the greatest thing I've ever seen. It was awesome. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Please go look it up. It was hysterical. It was talking about the Patriots run in the AFC East domination, the Dolphins run domination, or not Dolphins, the Bills run domination, and then the two fight. It was so funny. Absolutely loved it. But they're trying to compete for the sixth straight AFC East title, and they snap a Patriots 10-game win streak. So absolutely massive. Let's start with Buffalo. Quarterback / newly founded father, Josh Allen. Congratulations to him and his wife. Went 19 for 28, 193 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He played very well. James Cook had 107 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, and Dawson Knox also had 2 touchdowns. So once again, Josh Allen just went nuts. So I'm scared to see what his child that plays at Wyoming is going to do to us in 18 seasons. But if you look over at New England, Travion Henderson has quickly over the past 5 weeks entered himself into the Rookie of the Year conversation, going off for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Emeka Egbuka and Teteroa McMillan continue to struggle on the offensive side of the ball. Henderson has started to run away with the race a little bit, literally run away with it. Drake May played a great defense and finally saw a great team and struggled. Had just 155 yards passing, did throw an interception, but did add on 2 clutch rushing touchdowns in the first half. Now, this Patriots team leaves a lot to be questioned, but one thing you can't question is head coach Mike Vrabel and the fact he should win Coach of the Year. Mike Vrabel has done a fantastic job turning this team around. Drake May has blossomed in this offense, and you guys have known since we've been on the Sports Outlet Show how much of a Drake May fan I have been since he was at UNC. The kid now just needs reps of playoff experience, and the Patriots are slated to do that. The question is it a 1 seed or is it a 5 seed? Is it a 2 seed or is it a 6 seed? To still be determined. Remaining schedules, Buffalo basically gets 2 bye weeks. They go at Cleveland, then they get to play the Dirty Birds, and then they face a Jets team who is starting a Missouri quarterback who we can talk about all day, right? New England, they also kind of have 2 bye weeks. They get to travel at Baltimore, which I think is a very tricky game for them to walk into. We'll talk more about that one later on. They get to go into East Rutherford, New Jersey to play the Jets. And then as well, they get a Dolphins team who's starting Quinn Ewers.
Yep.
So some way, somehow the Bills need to pray that they lose 2 of those 3 games. You could almost certainly chalk this one up as the Patriots winning this division.
It's crazy how easy the Patriots schedule has been this year. I mean, it is by far and away the easiest schedule I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
The Ravens, the Ravens, Bills, and I think it was the Bucks or something, were like their only like true tests like the whole season, and they share a division with the Bills, so they have to play them. Just crazy stuff. But I was texting Joe at halftime about this game because I thought the Patriots had wrapped it up. It was over. So crazy to see the Bills come back in this one. It was a really fun game.
Amen. Excellent work from Buffalo. Braden, people want to know if you can stock their stuffing. Can you do it? I said that backwards.
I'm going to try.
You've never heard that phrase, stock stuffing? Remember Thanksgiving? We were just on Thanksgiving, guys. You buy stuffing stock, turns into dollars.
I think I like the other way better.
I think I do too. All right. How are we going to stock our stuffing, Braden? Let's do it.
Yeah, we're going to start with the 2 teams that you just talked about, the Bills and the Patriots. You mentioned the Bills basically going on to a bye week here. I have them -10 at the Cleveland Browns. We saw what the Bears did to them just last week. And the Bills and the Bears, it's crazy to say, but they're pretty similarly calibrated teams at this point. And then we're going to jump right over to the Patriots +125 money line at the Ravens. So that would effectively destroy the Ravens season. But the Patriots, we saw how they played it last week. They started off hot and then sort of fell off. I think they get the win here and lock up the division. So those are my first 2. And then I have the Chargers and the Cowboys game. I have that game going over 49.5 points. The Chargers and the Cowboys both have put up a lot of points so far this season. And the Cowboys might be fighting for their life. They're effectively out of the playoffs unless they win out and the Eagles lose out. The only disadvantage to that is the Eagles play on Saturday so that they could know their fate before that game even kicks off. So knowing that, if you also want to sneak in Chargers plus 105 money line in there, be my guest. So for the first three, that lays at plus 720. $10 plays at 82. Make you a little bit of money back after your Christmas shopping.
That'll stock your stuff.
The Eagles are ruining the best streak in football. The NFC East changing division winners every year. We're gonna have back-to-back.
Yeah, last time it happened was Eagles 2004, 2003, I believe.
Yep. Granted, it's basically been the Eagles and Cowboys flip-flopping every year. The Giants and Commanders haven't had much of a run in there.
Hey man, the Giants are in there at least once.
I think maybe only once. if at all. They might not be in there at all. I need to check this. we usually only make the playoffs through the wild card, and that's
Stop it, Braden. You're depressing him.
I'm sorry.
That is not how you stock a stuffing.
Nope.
Should we trademark that?
Stock a stuffing.
We need to go to the Small Business Development Career Center down at Laurel Ridge Community College.
Yeah.
We got to go do it. We have an idea. We're trademarking. Hey, you sound here first. No one can have it. But, Braden, I want to talk about this one real quick before we kick it over Brent's way to take us to NFC Northland. We're going to talk about three games that isn't this. And this game is the biggest game of the weekend for Baltimore, especially. Home crowd, favored, bias of being Baltimore, right? Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, if he's healthy. Zay Flowers can't catch many touchdown passes, but sure can get close to 1,000 yards receiving, right? And then Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman, the whole crew and staff, right? So very intriguing. This is a game Baltimore needs to win, and it would question a lot of things in New England as well.
And I did say that it effectively ends the Ravens season if they lose. It's not entirely true. I'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Sounds splendid. Take me to Soldier Field.
Yeah, and before we even talk about this game, because it is a really good one, NFL, what are we doing? The first Saturday games of the season, and you're putting them head-to-head with the first round of the college football playoff?
So dumb.
This is absurd. NFL Sundays are better with a full slate, plain drop period, and now you're competing with playoff college football. And we're doing it again next week in week 17. Do better. Come on, do better.
Learn your days. Learn your days. You get sun, not sacked. You get sun.
It's absurd. I just want to be glued on college football on Saturday and watch NFL Red Zone on Sunday. That's all I want. But
now you got to worry about your fantasy team on Saturday, Brent. I'm sorry.
Yep. But back to this game. Packers at Bears, Saturday night. This one matters a lot. Chicago comes in as the number 2 seed at 10-4. Green Bay sits at 9-4-1 as the 7 seed. And as we alluded to earlier, the Lions are right there at 8-6. This playoff race is tight. This is a rematch from just a couple weeks ago when the Packers beat the Bears 28-21 at Lambeau behind Jordan Love and Christian Watson. But this version of Green Bay is banged up badly. We already talked about it earlier. Micah Parsons done for the season after tearing his ACL last week. A brutal blow for a player the Packers sacrificed a lot to acquire this offseason. Christian Watson, he had a chest injury scare and was taken to the hospital. Sounds like he avoided major damage. Might have a chance to suit up this week, but his status matters. It's one to monitor. And star right tackle Zach Tom also went down with a knee injury. Schefter says no structural damage, but on a short week, I'd be surprised if he plays, honestly. All of that swings this matchup, in my opinion. The bookies think so too. This game opened with the Packers favored by 1.5. It is now the Bears who are favored by 1.5 as of today. The Bears, they're heating up. They dominated Cleveland last week, dropped 31 points on a defense that had been holding teams in check for the most part. And Caleb Williams, that might have been his best game as a Bear. If you missed it, Go back and find this throw. Rolling right, looks like he's throwing it away, and instead fires a 22-yard laser to DJ Moore, perfectly splitting double coverage. It was ridiculous. Probably the best throw I've seen all season. The offense in its entirety looked sharp, even without Romo Dunze in the lineup. You have Luther Burden making plays. You have Colston Loveland making plays. DJ Moore, as we talked about. Kyle Monangai, DeAndre Swift, that running game is electric. I know Green Bay won the first matchup, but with the injuries, the short week, and the way Chicago is playing right now, give me the Bears in the rematch, 26-24, behind another strong Caleb Williams performance.
And this game right here, Brent will put the Bears at the 1 seed and the Packers at 8. Yeah. When it's all said and done, the NFC is stupid this year. The team that is the 8 seed is going to be some 11-5 or 11-6 team that just doesn't deserve to be out, and they will be, and it's absolutely bonkers.
Just imagining the Packers or the Lions not making the playoffs is absurd to me.
Like the Packers were a Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah, that before the Parsons injury, I could easily see them winning the Super Bowl. I don't know. I think that injury is enough where I'm not willing to say that now. The Lions, I think they're still a Super Bowl contender. I truly think that, and they might miss the playoffs entirely. So it's ridiculous.
They have the second best offense in the league behind LA.
Yep.
But it's ridiculous. We'll see how it shakes out, and apparently we're seeing on Saturday. Brent, I forgot about that. That made me mad.
I know. It pisses me off.
Angry. Don't worry, Carson. I got you here. We got Jaguars at Broncos. And this game is appealing mostly because of the record at 10-4 and 12-2. And who thought that Liam Cohen and company could come in and do this in year one to put Jacksonville back on the map? Currently, Denver is sitting at -3. The over-under is at 45.5, and their money line sits at just -148. So that looks tasty in its own. But let's dive into Jacksonville first. Currently on a 5-game win streak, with their last loss coming on Sunday, November 9th at Houston. It was a 36-29 loss. Trevor Lawrence has really been inconsistent all season. He's really struggled with interceptions. But bro went off last week for 6 total touchdowns to send Chris Naylor packing into his bedroom. Chris Naylor is the biggest Trevor Lawrence hater. He'll tell you yourself. Chris, we love you. Come back on here soon. Running back Baishal Tootin is out for several weeks with a finger injury. And I say that not just as a Hokies fan. I say that as the fact that Tootin has become an actual back in this backfield, just like we thought he would be. He is the tank engine that keeps him going. He's the one that gets it on the 1-yard line over ETN. And at times, there's been a scare that ETN would lose this backfield.
He's played too good. He's played too good to lose it, though. But to your point, both backs have been playing awesome. So love to see it.
I hope Tootin wins that job next season. But Brian Thomas is their leading receiver, and he has 39 catches and 601 yards. This team lives and dies by the deep ball and lives and dies by which Trevor Lawrence shows up on Sunday or Saturday in some opinions now. But turn it over to Denver. Everybody knew Denver was going to be a good team this season, but 12-2 is ridiculous. They are playing lights-out football, and it all starts, I'll say his name, with Bo Nix. He is having an incredible season. 3,256 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, 9 picks, and 4 rushing touchdowns as well. But he's really played commander-in-chief to this offense. When you look at them on paper, they're not that explosive. Cortland Sutton is getting up there in age, but R.J. Harvey has stepped in a huge way to be the dog that barks on this offense. R.J. Harvey's been incredible when Dobbins went down. He's been incredible in the receiving game as well, with the addition of Mims and Troy Franklin, who seems to score every single week at this rate. So always take those anytime TDs. But R.J. Harvey has 419 yards, 6 touchdowns, as well as adding 4 through the air on 37 receptions. That is just 2 under the leading receiver for the Jaguars. That is ridiculous. They're currently on an 11-game win streak, with their last loss coming on Sunday, September 21st, when they faced a Los Angeles Chargers team 23-20. Guys, that was week 3.
And they shouldn't have lost that game. It was a BS call.
That is also true. Jacksonville has this one, and then they get to travel to Indianapolis, and then they get Tennessee as well. Denver will get to play at Kansas City and then face a Chargers team, which honestly should have been, when you look at the schedule, an end-of-year gauntlet. Maybe avoiding that Kansas City game next week will be in their favor. But that Week 17 game, if all continues in a Charger favor, could be for not just the AFC West, but for the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. Absurd. This Jaguars team, Bishal Tuesday being out, is big. Brian Thomas has not been anything like he was in year 1. A lot to be seen from this Jaguars team still, and a team where, again, Brenton Strange seems to score every single Sunday. I don't think this one's close. I think that Broncos -3 is the freest bet of the weekend. I have Broncos 31, Jag 17. This Broncos team is much better. Sean Payton is much more seasoned. I honestly don't think this one's going to be that close. The Jaguars are just surprising in general.
Yeah, I love this Broncos team, and I think they, outside of the Bills, who probably have the best quarterback in the AFC right now, man, I think the Broncos are gonna get there. I think they're gonna get to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they'll win it. The NFC is really hot, but of the AFC teams, I think the Broncos have impressed me the most. I'll be honest.
I would love to see a Broncos-Bills AFC championship. That would be ridiculous.
Awesome. Be awesome.
That would be ridiculous. But, Josh Allen, every year he's made the playoffs, has been kicked out by Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is no longer a factor.
And Lamar might not be there either.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And the man's a dad. Don't mess with dad energy.
Dad strength, baby.
There you go. Braden, conclude us in 2025 with Steelers and Lions. What a game.
Yeah, this game has huge playoff implications for both conferences. The Lions are currently 7-point favorites. Both of these teams are 8-6. Both of these teams feel like it's a must-win game. For the Steelers, they currently have a 62% chance of making the playoffs, and that would shoot up with a win in this game and a Ravens loss against the Patriots. Currently, Steelers fans are calling for Mike Tomlin's head. So this team it's motivated to not only make the playoffs, but to get a home playoff win in their first game. Crazy, by the way, crazy, but we've talked about that before. Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf will have to be at their best to have a shot against this defense. The running game hasn't been great for the Steelers all year, so they're going to rely on the passing game and the defense to get them a win. The Lions, as I mentioned earlier, this team needs to win out to secure their spot in the playoffs. And as Brent was saying, they absolutely have all the pieces to be a playoff, even a Super Bowl contender. They just need to put it together and win when it matters most. Running backs Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery account for 21 rushing touchdowns this year. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams are number 5 and 10 in the league in receiving yards and 2 and tied for 8th in receiving touchdowns. So their air attack has been going crazy. Aiden Hutchinson, Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, Brian Branch, and others should account for this defense being a lot better than they are. But they allow 24.6 points per game, which is 10th most in the league. So after this game, which I think they win 30-17 against the Steelers, they will need to go out and beat the Vikings and the Bears both on the road to compete for a Super Bowl in the postseason. For the Steelers, after this loss that they're about to take, 30-17. That opens the door for the Ravens. The Ravens, even if they lose against the Patriots, they can win against the Micah Parsons-less Packers next week, and then they can beat the Steelers in Week 18 to secure their spot.
That's a Week 18 football game.
Yes, it is.
That's beautiful.
So that's absolutely huge. So as I was saying earlier, it's not completely lost for the Ravens if they lose against the Patriots. But it's going to be an interesting way to wrap up the season for all three of these teams, including the Ravens, if you want to throw them in there as well.
It's about that time of year for the playoff predictor, isn't it? Gotta start going with that thing here.
Go and get some scenarios in. Yeah, so it's interesting.
I'd say so.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
this
forward
Lions
to this
team,
one.
this Lions team is too good, in my opinion. But you never know with this Mike Tomlin team. They need one more. They need one more. They got 3 shots at it.
Both of these teams are clamoring for the playoffs here. This is going to be a game of desperation for sure.
I really do
that
think it's going to come down to that Week 18 game between the Steelers and the Ravens. The Steelers have the Browns next week, by the way. So if they win that one as they should, Week 18 is going to be a movie.
The Browns are Pittsburgh's kryptonite this late in the year,
That's
so
fair. That's
keep
fair.
an eye on that one as well. But if you're taking 2 teams that are clawing in desperation for the playoffs, and you have Dan Campbell versus Mike Tomlin, give me Dan Campbell 9 times out of 9.
I don't know, man. Both these coaches are good. Both these coaches are very good. If one of them wants to come to New York, coach that Giants team, I'd be happy to have him.
Oh yeah, good weather up there. Good weather up there in New York.
Well, we had some snow last week, but other than that,
I will say, and you know what, we'll cap 2025 off with this. The New York Giants have the most attractive head football coaching vacancy that I've ever seen.
yes, I was telling Carson this today. I agree.
Dude, Jackson Dart's him. Cam Scadaboo is just crazy. Malik Neighbors is a top 5 receiver when healthy. Figure it out. Theo Johnson might be the idea at tight end. You maybe can bolster that up. The O-line looked fine, and you have the best defensive line in football. Like, I don't know what's on get a kicker, and then we'll figure it out.
I don't know why we're not winning more games than we are, but it's probably the fact that the rest of the defense is atrocious, including
That's
our
true.
rushing defense, which is the worst in the league. But we did fire Young Wei Koo today. We cut him.
Oh,
So no more Koo for the Giants. He was the
that's
ultimate.
sad.
He was the ultimate tank commander. So kind of
Unfortunately,
sad to see him go.
They have to point. They have to point the finger at somebody. He's a hero. He's a hero.
Well, I think he's got to hang him up. Unfortunately,
He's got the yips
sad.
big time.
mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
Well, football is better when he's kicking, so I'll just say that much. But I'm intrigued to see what happens this week at the college football playoff as well as the NFL. We won't have any more coverage here for you until we are down to 4 teams in the college football playoff and into week 18. So what a great week for the Sports Outlet Show to come back. I believe that's going to be on January 7th is that exact date. We'll be back in office with all your sports knowledge and, everything you need to know heading in to playoff city central for the NFL and NCAA. So as always, Merry Christmas here from the Sports Outlet Show family. Thank you for your support of what we do. We don't need a ton of followers. We just love the fact that we get to follow along sports together, the 3 of us with you all alongside. So thanks for all the support. Appreciate you guys always coming and hanging out here with us on Wednesday night. We'll be back Wednesday, January 7th at 7 p.m. There's a lot of 7s in there, so it might be lucky for you to go win some money. But Brent, Braden, anything to send us off into the holiday season?
No, just this is my favorite time of the year, the Christmas season. Makes me feel grateful for everything we have, families, friends, this show. Obviously, we're just doing it for fun here, but always like talking sports with the boys. So, Merry Christmas to all of you listeners out there.
Yeah, Brent, you said it better than anyone. Merry Christmas, everybody, and we're excited to see you in the new year.
Well, if we didn't say it enough, Merry Christmas from us here at the Sports Outlet Show to our Sports Outlet Show family. We will see you in 2026. Happy New Year. And, go get yourself a peanut butter blossom. It's okay. It's Christmas. Go get one. We'll see you in 2026. Good night.